Hello, this is wmpyr here with another video of style versus style. This time, this happened in Vietnam where a karate black belt went up against a Canadian Wing Chun practitioner. So yeah, they went up at it, and it looked like pretty much minimum. I don't think they were wearing a mouthpiece, and I don't know if they're wearing a groin protector or not. So they're bare knuckle, and yeah, it looks like the rules are pretty minimal. Um, but the main idea here is that they did it like more out of respect. It looks like it was more like, you're a martial artist, I'm a martial artist. Let's do this respectfully. So even after the match, I think there's photos of them like where they went to go have dinner together. So um, yeah, that's kind of cool that they did it in that way, rather than a nasty way, kind of like the way the Tai Chi versus the MMA guy was. That was a nasty fight, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have dinner together afterwards. Whereas to this one right here, it's things seem a lot more respectful. And yeah, so the result is still kind of brutal, not as brutal as the Tai Chi guy versus the MMA guy, but spoiler alert from here on. So if you don't want to hear about it, I saw this on Yahoo News, and I saw the video, and I'm just sharing it on my YouTube channel as far as my 2 cents go. So the karate black belt guy, he's in the pictures you really can't tell, but when you see the fight, he does look quite a bit smaller. He is definitely a lot smaller, and he also looks a lot older. Provided he looks like he's in really, really good physical shape, especially for his age. So if you're facing someone that's very muscular and strong and big and stuff, that's real. Whether you have the ability to neutralize or to use that against them and stuff, that's another story. It's definitely possible, but it's also, those things are going to be used against you as well. So that they do have an advantage bringing that in. And so in this case, this is one of those prime examples where the smaller guy was not able to overcome the size for sure. Was it a technical difference? Um, I'm not quite sure. It's hard to say. Was it because the Wing Chun guy was technically so much better? I don't know. To me it looked more like a size difference. And the karate black belt guy, the way he was fighting was more like point fighting. But let's say it was more like old school point fighting, where maybe when Chuck Norris competed and stuff, even though it's point fighting, it's a lot harder than a lot of point fighting done today, in my opinion. That's the impression that I get. So this guy is making full force contact, but the way he's fighting is like I said, it's a point fighter. So once he got in close, it looked like the karate black belt didn't really know what to do, or he didn't really have an answer. He didn't look like for example, a full contact kyokushin karate fighter or seidokan type fighter, where they're used to full contact. They don't hit in the face, but once they get in close, they're working your body. They're working the leg kicks. They know what to do from there. This guy looked kind of clueless. From outside, he looked a lot more comfortable, and he landed some pretty good kicks. Some kicks that it made me cringe. It looked like, ouch, that looked pretty painful. I don't know if he trains his feet or not, if he hardens his feet. But if he was wearing shoes, man, those look like possibly maybe they could have ended the fight. I mean, he lands it right on the inside of the shin of the Wing Chun guy. The Wing Chun guy looked like he wasn't affected by it, but man, some of those kicks that the karate guy landed, I was like, ow, that looks bad. You know, looks very painful. The Wing Chun guy had a very interesting stance that he used. He constantly shifted his hand positions, and he stomped when he did that. So it was like distracting. It was very distracting. He was barefoot, and he was just stomping his foot and moving his hands around like that. I'm not a big fan of doing that, but clearly it says in the article that he has had other challenge matches. So it's maybe something that he's been developing. So, who am I to criticize? If it works for him, then that's his style. I'm not here to criticize. I personally not a big fan of something like that. When I change my stance, I'm not really there doing it to uh, fake out the opponent or distract the opponent. I'm more focused on what I need to do, what the other guy's trying to do to me, trying to figure that kind of stuff out. So I don't randomly change my hands. It's more like for me to keep a beat. Boss Rutan says you want to have some kind of beat like this. In Eskrima, it's kind of like to help me flow. And it's like being on your toes to get ready for whatever. So it's not that I'm really changing my stance. If I do, it's to entertain the crowd. That's when I would do that personally. So the fight, spoiler alert, it actually ends with a high kick. The Wing Chun guy throws a high kick. So this kind of goes with the video that I made before, where I was responding back to Rizzo, I believe that was his name, the police officer who is a Wing Chun practitioner, and he made a video titled "Why I Don't Like Bruce Lee" or something like that. And one thing that I really liked that he said that don't say that Wing Chun is just close range stuff. That every practitioner can express it differently. And to me, this was a prime example of that. This Wing Chun fighter guy, the way that he did Wing Chun is not the typical looking Wing Chun, in my opinion. Anyway, this guy, he knocked the karate guy out with a high kick, of all things, which is something that the Wing Chun guys are not known for, So I was like, that's bravo. That's pretty cool, I hate that these guys, if they are trying to be so respectful towards each other, that they have to hurt each other like this. Why not train together? That's my philosophy. I'd rather train with you than fight you, So anyway, this Canadian guy, he challenged the MMA fighter that defeated the Tai Chi guy. So that's how this kind of links in with the MMA fighter versus Tai Chi guy that happened a while back that set China in an uproar. So he's challenging that guy. Oh boy, man! If that fight does happen, this Canadian Wing Chun guy has he that's a big plate in front of him. First of all, though, I hope he understands that if he's gonna fight that guy, that it's not gonna be like this fight, where in this fight he's talking to his opponent, saying, "Are you sure you want to continue? Are you okay?" He's kind of doing that. Whereas against the MMA guy, I don't think there's gonna be none of that. If you're trying to be nice, trying to be respectful, the other guy is just gonna come at you. So anyway, this video's gone long enough. So yeah, just wanted to share my 2 cents. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.